Hello everybody, welcome to Sure Shot Archery. Anthony here, and in this video I'm going to be giving my review of the Black Gold 2A competition sight. This is designed for your recurve bow. We also have a competition sight designed for your compound bow. Of course, I will be reviewing the recurve bow because that's what I shoot and that's what I've been testing out for the last couple months. So for this video, I'm going to be giving you the pros and cons of this sight, my experience with it. There will also be links to Black Gold and to Lancaster Archery, so you can see what Black Gold has to say about their own sight and get a price from Lancaster Archery. And that way you can determine if this sight and this configuration of this sight is a reasonable price for you, and if you feel like it's worth buying. So first off, let's talk about the look of this sight. It has a very industrial, a very tough look to it. It's all aluminum. There is no carbon fiber on this, so another a different take than our usual. Even Trueball is now offering, I think, all their sights, or at least the higher end competition ones, in carbon bar, and the rest is aluminum. This is entirely aluminum, and it definitely has a striking look to it, how it's designed, and it's definitely different than what we've normally been seeing on the market for the last couple of years. So first off, for me, what I noticed right away when using this sight was the integrated windage and elevation. This is all locked in. You cannot remove this section of the sight from one another. It slides pretty smoothly once you unlock it, up and down, but it's all locked in. Now you can take off your sight pin and the windage portion of it by removing this screw here, but you still have this portion attached to your elevation bar, and I think that's something very different compared to other sights, especially the Shibuya sight that I am used to shooting. That windage block completely comes apart from the sight. This one does not, so it sticks out a little bit more than what I was used to, which was fine. It still laid flat because you could still remove the sight pin and windage portion of this block. But it's definitely a different take on that. For the movement, I didn't notice anything getting stuck in here causing it to bind up. It still moves very freely, but there is no play in it, which is really nice. They have really tight tolerances on this, which is necessary because you want an accurate sight. Because if it's wiggling a good amount, then it's probably affecting where you're aiming downrange, and it could cause you to be less accurate. Now you're probably thinking, well, since it's aluminum, how's the vibration? Overall, the vibration isn't bad. It does have a little bit more vibration than my Shibuya. I did add in these two Pee-wee doinkers that seem to help with that, and they're basically in the same range now. Granted, my Shibuya sight is the original RC Ultima. It's not even the Mark II, so it is very old. I think I bought it around 2011, and since this is a 2019, it's kind of impressive that it holds up to a brand new model from another company. But with that, it isn't just stuffed full of vibration. It manages it pretty well. I would definitely recommend Pee-wee doinkers just because, well, I'm into a shot that has the least amount of vibration possible, unless it's good vibration. I want good feedback from my bow, but I don't want a lot of excess noise that's going to block the feedback or interrupt the feedback I'm getting from the shot I'm making. Another pro of this sight is there is a lot of variations for the extension. They're all aluminum, but you can get them in 4, 6, and 9 inches. This one here is 6 inches. I think it's probably the most reasonable. 9 seems to be way overkill. I don't think you'll ever need your sight out there that long. If you did that at 18, you may not actually be able to see it. It might get blocked by the riser. And 4 inches, I feel is too short. It's we're not shooting a compound bow here. Most people aren't shooting 50 plus pounds. So I think the 6-inch variant of this is probably the most useful, but it is cool that they offer all these different varieties. They also offer the ability to buy, extra accessories to change out some of these components so that you can have it match your bow better. Of course, mine are all gray, which match basically everything, but you can get ones in like blue and green and gold and such. With that, I find the anodizing on this sight to be excellent. I haven't had any issues with it chipping or just, looking really nasty after a short period of time. It hasn't faded harshly in the sun. I know some companies do really bargain, or it seems like really bargain anodizing jobs, and within a month or two, or definitely 6 months, especially during a summer season outdoors, your black components are now looking way more purple or somehow gray. Like, it just seems like the anodizing eats away. It gets eaten away by the sun. This has not happened with this sight, so that makes me very happy because it is a fairly high-priced sight, so you should be getting the quality with that. So overall, this is a really good sight. I think it's going to be great competition for the Shibuya and the True Ball. Adjustment-wise is nice and smooth. Windage operation is nice and smooth. It also comes in with, it's got built-in locks, so you can lock the front with a lock. You can lock the side. You can even set it so that you can slide. So if you want to move, say, from 70 meters to shooting 18, you can just move your dial here and then just slide your sight down. Or if you don't want to move at all, you can adjust your dial so that it locks in position. I think that is pretty ingenious, and I think it's taking sights in a new direction. Yes, they've locked before, but being able to slide your sight so easily and then lock it and relock it, it's pretty nice for most situations. And we'll get into that in the cons, or Anthony's little critiques that he would like to see improved on this sight. So some things that stuck out to me. The first one is the numbering of this. So it's numbered 1 through 12, but if we count, there is 13 holes here. So we should probably have a number 13 all the way out here, or just take away one of the holes. I don't know. It seemed kind of oddball to me, and I know it's trivial in nature, but this is also a premium sight. So I think that's something that should probably get polished out, and maybe this was a very early production model, so maybe they have corrected that already. But it's a little goof, I guess I would call it, where they have more holes than they have numbers for them. Also, with that, when you're trying to get it to line up, and I know you're not adjusting your sight in and out all the time, but it would be nice to be able to actually read the number you are over. Because, I don't know about you, but for me, if I set my sight on, say, hole number 12 here, we'll call it, but I don't see it and I accidentally look at, and accidentally put it into number 11, at 70 meters, I'm going to go from hitting the center of the target to probably being way up high or way low, depending on where you're moving from. It could cause an issue. It could be really interesting. And it's just something that, that could be refined a little bit more, in my opinion, so that it's easier to see. I know my Shibuya sight is very easy to read and to adjust per numbers. Other than that, I think it slides in really well, and it locks in place well. Funny thing is, it's asymmetrical, so you can't put it in backwards. It'll only go in one way. So it goes in here, but it won't go in upside down. It's basically keyed without it being really keyed, because it's an asymmetrical extension block. Pretty neat. I have not seen that done from other companies. Theirs are usually very generic. Shibuya's, at least the old one, is so generic. All they literally do is they get the same sight extension, and then they just put Shibuya on either the left or the right hand side to make it a left or right extension bar. At least that's what I've gotten from disassembling mine and checking it out. It seems to at least work that way. All you have to do is flip it over and stick the logo on the opposite side. This one is actually made for a righty, and a left-handed one would actually be made for a lefty, unless you like flip all this over. But still, a lot of thought has been put into how this extension slides into the bracket that holds it to your bow. It's kind of interesting. Now, on the point of locking, this lock locks great. I think the knob should be a little bit bigger so you can, torque it a little bit easier without over torquing it. But sometimes I've been a little quick on it and it's been sometimes a little loose, or may come a little loose. So I want things locked down all the time on my bow. So I wish this knob was a little bit bigger. Doesn't have to be a lot, just so that you can, give it a good turn and you can forget about it. On the front end though, this drives my coach crazy, which is entertaining, but at the same point in time, he's like, really, Anthony, come on. Because of the locking aspects of this, and him not being used to the sight, you can really drive your coach nuts if your coach is into adjusting your sight when you're shooting. Like, you shoot an arrow, and he's working with you on form, but he feels like they're way too high and he wants to give it a twist. Well, if you have this locked down, yeah, they're not twisting your sight, which is great because you can't tamper with the sight, you can't bump it by accident and move it. But at the same time, from the coach's perspective, it was really frustrating him. It was kind of hilarious though, but it was really frustrating. He's like, come on, Anthony, where's the Shibuya at? So I think that is, it could be a con in a way. It is just an interesting aspect of this sight. Last but not least, on the cons, the front here that attaches your sight pin to the sight. This is, well, I can't loosen it right now because I need an Allen key, but you can technically hand tighten this. I do not recommend it because by hand tightening this, it comes loose. At least all the times that I have tested it, it comes loose when I shoot. So you definitely want to tighten this top screw here that locks your sight pin in with an Allen key, which is fine, but it is something that you need to keep in mind. You should be going to the range and to tournaments with Allen keys, but if you normally don't, you should make a habit of bringing some Allen keys so you can tighten up this screw here and keep everything together. So overall, I think this sight by Black Gold, the 2A competition sight, it's a good sight. It's a really great step into the target archery market. I personally think that a revision 2, a Mark II, 2A Mark II, kind of got a pretty good ring to it, with maybe some of the critiques that I have said, some of those cons, and input from other archers, can really make this sight, really knock it out of the park, home run swing for this sight. As it stands right now, I think it has reasonable competition for the True Ball and Shibuya. I don't think at the moment that it is superior to either one of those, but it is also not like a laughing stock. It should be taken seriously, and I've actually heard that some of the other sight companies out there are taking it very seriously because of this sliding mechanism and how brilliant that is. So definitely stay tuned to see what Black Gold is going to produce in the future. I really think they have a bright future in the target archery realm. They're supposedly extremely well known for their quality sights in hunting, but that's not my thing. So it is nice to see them branching out and trying to apply what they learned there to target archery. And you never know, we're probably going to teach them a thing or two in target archery that they can apply to hunting. Since we're a side of the sport that requires such exactness and precision for more than just 1 or 2 shots, we have to do this 60 or 72 arrows at a time, and it needs to be done with accuracy and perfection. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. I enjoyed testing out this sight. Please like and subscribe. Check out Black Gold. They're a very interesting company based out of Montana in the USA. So pretty sweet. And other than that, happy shooting.